Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing good and having a wonderful day. In this video, we'll be talking about how we can chain vulnerabilities to find or to show the actual impact. Okay, because many times I have seen beginners, especially those who are like very new to bug bounty, they often find something, let's say a leaked credential, but don't know where to use it, and because of these things, their report is mostly got marked as informative. So in this video, with a practical example, we'll try to understand that how, if you find anything interesting that you think is interesting, then how we can chain it with other functionalities and can ultimately show a very impactful you can say finding, right, to a particular organization. So this is what we're going to cover through a practical demonstration. But yeah, before going to this video, if you haven't checked out my previous video, then go ahead and check it out. The link of the video is given in the description, as well as you can see it at the right side of the screen. And also, one small thing that I would like to say, Happy New Year to all of you. And I hope that with this beginning of this 2025, we'll be able to find more vulnerabilities, we'll be able to improve our hacking skills and be more productive, and at the end become a better version of ourselves. And now, without further ado, let us get started. Now, before proceeding further, let us try to understand that how exactly can we chain the vulnerabilities. Okay, so we have two options over here. First thing is that we need to identify a possible security issue. The issue can be like, let's say, a leaked credential, maybe leaked API keys, some logical issues, maybe vulnerabilities like XSS or any other thing. Okay, once you have identified a possible security issue that you think can be a misconfiguration that can lead to a vulnerability, then try to see if you can show the impact or not. Okay, if you can show the impact, then directly report it to the company. That is the best case. If not, then what you need to do is first note down whatever finding you have found. For example, you may have found a leaked credential or maybe a leaked API key somewhere, right? So just note it down, like where you have found it, okay, and what is the API key, and also do a little research on that, like what this API key is doing or what this possible credential can do. Okay, then what you need to do is you need to understand its possible impact. Like, let's say if there is a credential that you have found, then you need to think that where can I use it. Is there any subdomain where we can use this particular credential, or maybe is there any other login portal where we can use this credential? Or you can think, let's say you have found an AWS API key, then research about it through Google or any other passive sources, that where you can actually use that key. Like, let's say we have AWS access key or secret access key leaked, right? So try to understand, okay, so we have got this, and now how can we use this, and what can be the possible impact of it. Let's say you found a logical bug, maybe let's say you found a race condition vulnerability, then try to understand that what exactly can be done with this race condition vulnerability. Maybe you're able to create 4 accounts where you have only permission to create 2 accounts, right? So these are the things that you need to keep asking yourself in order to understand, or in order to chain the vulnerabilities or whatever you're identifying so far. At the end, thinking like this, or having critical thinking like this, will help you to identify an interesting security issue with an interesting impact. Okay, and let's say if you found a logical bug, then you need to understand whether it is affecting the business's CIA trait or not. What I mean by CIA is whether it is affecting their confidentiality, integrity, or availability. Okay, so these are the things that we need to roughly look into, and this is generally how we can chain vulnerabilities, or identify a vulnerability with a possible impact, because at the end it is very important in bug bounties. And now I hope you all have understood this. So now let me take you to a journey where I will show you that how I was able to find a very interesting vulnerability in a private pen test, which allowed me to take over their whole SMTP server. Okay, so let's get started. So now let me take you to a journey where we will be able to understand exactly how we can chain vulnerabilities during a pen test or a bug bounty hunting. Okay, so let me open the browser, and for this I have created a simulated environment where I will show you the exact way of how I was able to find the vulnerability. And let's say that if you're able to spot the vulnerability directly, just let me know through the comment. Okay, now first thing is the application is hosted on this particular domain, portal.bpractical.tech, and upon visiting this application we can clearly see that it is a login portal. Okay, now Ideally we don't have the credential, right? So what we can do is, initially in these kind of scenarios, it will be better if we can directly look into the source code, right? So I'll go into the source code right now, and I'll try to understand if there's anything that can be, interesting for me. Okay, so you can see we have this simple source code over here with this form, and we have this script over here as well, right? So ideally, if you are encountering with an application, it is very better to look into the source code of the script, so that you'll be able to understand exactly what is going on. Okay, upon opening the script, let me just open it in a new tab. Okay, you can see we have this simple script over here, in which like it is just checking if the user is filling out the form or not, right? It's kind of like that. And also we have some things commented out. Now I'll give you all 5 seconds. Okay, so look through this code, go through this code, and tell me, do you think there's anything suspicious over here or not? Okay, so let me just give you all 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. If you have found anything, just let me know in the comment box. Okay, so yeah, once done, we can clearly see over here that in this comment we have an endpoint over here, right? An endpoint which is like very interesting for us to see. Okay, so you can see we have localhost configuration and config.json file here. So what I'll do is, I'll simply open this file in, like in this application like this. Okay, and clearly we can see that we've got some base 64 data, right? And upon decoding this data, let's try to decode this. So let me just open a new tab. Let's go base 64 decode, and we're simply going to decode this data that we've got from here. Okay, and let's try to understand what exactly is present over here. We copy this and paste it here. Okay, and now you see, once we have decoded the data, it is clearly disclosing the username and the password in plain text, right? So let's copy this username and password since we have got it, and let's try to see whether we are able to log in into this application or not. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'll go back to portal. Okay, and I'll just try to use this credential that I've got, mailbpractical.tech. okay, and xyz tl. Okay, let's go, let's click on login. You see it says login successful, right? But you see nothing is happening over here, nothing is happening in this application. So from this example itself, you may think that this is like a dummy credential, right? This is not something which is in use right now. This is the reason why we are unable to see anything, right? And this is exactly you may think when you are doing bug bounty hunting or pen testing, because ideally, like especially for bug bounties, if you have identified a credential, you really need to show them that you're able to use it somewhere, right? And in this example, we can clearly have the credential, but we are not able to use it right over here, just a demo page, nothing else, right? So the HackerOne or any other security researcher on their platform, they're simply going to mark this report as informative. The reason is that we are not able to show the actual impact, so they'll think that it is a a demo credential just to test the application. That's it. Nothing sensitive is going on with this credential that we've got, right? So now in this example, you really need to think that we've got an credential. Where can I actually use it? If not on this portal, then where can we actually use this credential? Okay, so again, I'm giving you all 5 seconds. So just by the username and password, try to understand where should be the best case scenario where we should ideally test this credential. Okay, so username is mail@bpractical.tech and the password is this string. Okay, let's wait for 5 seconds again. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if you know anything, just let me know in the comment box. And now let me tell you exactly where we can use it. Now normally in applications like this, where you have identified a credential, the first thing that you should be doing is you should be doing a full subdomain enumeration or full mapping of their infrastructure. Okay, and you should map out all the application which are having login forms, login portals. Okay, so this is the first thing that we actually need to do in order to understand that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a subdomain enumeration on this bpractical.tech, because upon checking the username, I can see that it is mail@bpractical.tech. So it might be possible that it is getting used somewhere in their mailing services, maybe their SMTP protocol or something like that, right? So just following my luck, I'll just go and try to do subdomain enumeration to see if I can find any possible mailing servers of bepractical.tech or not. Okay, so let me just quickly open Kali Linux. Just wait for a few seconds now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type subfinder -t bepractical.tech -all and -v. So okay, let me just quickly install subfinder into my machine. Subfinder. So wait for a few seconds. It's not going to take much time. Let's wait. And now let's run this again. Okay, so see, we have got a lot of subdomains, right? Test bepractical.tech, demo2.bepractical.tech. Let me do one thing. Let me just save this to a file. Let's say subfinder.txt. okay, and then we'll try to filter out all the possible subdomains having HTTP or HTTPS application running on it. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, here we are. We have gathered 17 subdomains. Let me just quickly do HTTPX. I hope it's installed. Okay, let me quickly install HTTPX into my machine, and then I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so now we have HTTPX installed. Let me just quickly filter out all the valid HTTP applications. So finder HTTPX -title. Let's wait for a few seconds, and you can see we filter out bepractical.tech, and that's it. We're only able to filter out bepractical.tech, nothing else. Now the thing is that we have did subdomain enumeration. We've got only bepractical.tech, and even if you open this in a new tab, we'll see that it's just a static application. Let me just show you. You can see nothing over here, just a static application. Okay, so now we have actually run out of options. But the thing is that we need to actually dive deep into this target. Okay, and for that we need to push ourselves to do more in-depth reconnaissance. So what we can do is, so far we have identified subdomains through subfinder, which is a passive subdomain enumeration tool. Right now what we'll do is we'll try to also enumerate the subdomains using active subdomain enumeration techniques. Okay, so right now for that I'm going to use ffff to see if you can find any other subdomains or not. Okay, and by the way, if you really want to learn about how we can dive deep into the art of web reconnaissance, then you can feel free to go ahead and check out my course, the art of web reconnaissance. And we have special coupon over here just for this 3 to 4 days. So if you are really interested, just go ahead and check out this course, where you'll learn how actually we as an attacker or a bug bounty hunter can dive deep into any target, understand this application, and able to find security issues. Okay, so yeah, if you're interested, then go ahead and check it out. The link of the course with coupon is given in the description. And moving on, what we can do over here is we can simply type ffff -u http first.bepractical.tech, just like this. Let me just use the common word list. Okay, setlist discovery. I'm going to use the common.txt file. Okay, and let me just do -mc all, and let's hit enter, and let's see if we're able to identify any other subdomains or not. Okay, so let me just hit enter, and let's wait a few seconds. So yeah, once this scan gets completed, I will get back to you. Now as you can see, the scan has been finished, and we have got some more subdomains that can be interesting to see. So let me just go ahead and check one of them. For example, admin is there, so I'm going to type admin.bepractical.tech. okay, you can see nothing interesting over here. Let me just go back to Kali Linux, and let me just check portal. Okay, so we already have checked portal. Let's go with rate. So again, I'm going to type rate.bepractical.tech. So wait for a few seconds, and you can see we're getting the exact same form that we've got on portal, I think, right? Let's go ahead and try test out this credential over there as well. So what I'm going to do is let me just open it again in this code. So yeah, like this. Let me just quickly decode it. Base 64 decode, and paste it here. Let me decode it real quick, and let me just try this credential on this application that I've got. Okay, So we've got rate.bepractical.tech. I'm going to check it out, and sorry, not this one. It's the password, and let me just paste it over here. And again, you can see it seems to be a demo application, so nothing impactful at all, because at the end we need to show some kind of impact, so again, so no need to like test further on this. Maybe we can do content discovery, but first let's go ahead and check out all the other subdomains that we have. So again, like last one is SMTP. So let me just go ahead and type smtp.bepractical.tech. And the reason is also that if you remember, we were able to get the username which says mail@bepractical.tech. So this will be our ideal scenario where we should be testing this credential first. So again, you can see we have username and password. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to copy the username, paste it here. Same with the credential, like the password, copy it and paste it over here. Let's click on login, and as you can see, this time we were successfully able to log in into this application. And right now you can see that we're able to see the dashboard, including the inbox and all those things. So this is something which actually is impactful, right? Because using the same credential, we were able to get access to their SMTP protocol, and now we can have like compromise their confidentiality, integrity, and availability of this application. Okay, so the important thing to note here is not the way through which I found the security misconfiguration. It's about how well you can think of the vulnerability that you have identified. Okay, because in your scenario you might be getting something completely different, so you need to think about that okay, I've got this now, where can be these scenarios, like where can I use this in this application or in this scope, what is the best case for it. So you need to think like that, and eventually you'll be able to find something very impactful. And if you really want to learn more into this, then feel free to go ahead and check out the Art of Web Reconnaissance course. Apart from that, I hope you all have learned something new and something interesting from this particular video. If you have any doubts, if you have any issues, feel free to let me know your doubts or issues into the comment section. Also, do join our Telegram channel if you want to stay updated with the latest trends and technologies going under cybersecurity, bug bounty, and ethical hacking. And now, with that being said, keep learning, keep hacking, and thanks a lot for watching this video.